Having troubling thoughts and you can't seem to get control over them? Stay tuned. This is Damon from NLP Gym, Mastering Your Thoughts Using NLP. If you haven't already, please click subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get these videos on a regular basis. Are you having troubling or negative thoughts you can't seem to get control over or you can't get rid of? It can seem like we have this massive swirl of thoughts going on in our head and we just can't seem to get our hands around it. We can't seem to control it. And we just keep getting sucked into this type of negative thinking, or maybe even it's fearful thinking or concerns or fears or worry. How do you get control over this? How do you master your thoughts? Well, you can't really master your thoughts because thoughts are really not a thing. Thought is what we call a nominalization in the meta model. Meta model was the first NLP model. Even before NLP had a name, we had the meta model, which is a group of language patterns. And what a thought is it's basically a verb that's been turned into a noun. So thinking is what it was, and then you turned it into thought, and thought is not a real thing. You can't pick it up and put it in your pocket. When you convert the word thought into thinking, now you have movement again. It's fluid, it's action rather than a thing. Thought, when you turn a thinking into thought, you sort of freeze your thinking onto one thing, and you can get stuck there, but you unfreeze it by turning it back into an action, back into a verb, and now you're thinking and now you're flowing. When you're confused or you're feeling overwhelmed, or even when you have a dilemma or a decision that you don't know what to decide or what to do, that's usually because your thoughts are moving. They're coming in and out of focus. They're sort of slipping and sliding and moving all over the place, and that can give you the sense of being confused or overwhelmed. It's interesting to watch someone who's describing their confusion or describing their frustration or indecision. If the person is very visual especially, you'll see their eyes going in all different directions because they're looking at different images, or they're trying to grab hold of an image visually, and they can't seem to do that. It keeps moving around. Especially when a person is experiencing a dilemma and they don't know what to decide between two things. Normally they will see two separate images side by side, and you'll watch their eyes. They'll go back and forth between the two. I had a friend from Germany who was trying to decide whether or not to go back and live in Germany. She was living here in the US, and as she was explaining it and explaining her dilemma, her eyes kept going back and forth between these two images, and I asked her to hold the image in each one, and it was clear to her then that she was actually seeing this. That before it was unconscious, but when I pointed it out to her, she could clearly see two different images, one representing staying here and one representing going back to Germany. How do we deal with these thoughts and overcome this confusion and this overwhelm? First, realize that thought is not the problem. You're going to have thoughts. Zen masters have thoughts. The difference is they don't become attached to them. They don't pump meaning into them. They don't invest in them. And when you can step back and look at thought as having a calm, cool, and healthy detachment from them, thoughts become more like choices, and you can choose to engage them, you can choose to invest in them, and you can choose to make meaning of them, but you don't have to. And if you do indulge in them this way, having this understanding, if things don't feel good with this thought, you can always disengage from it. You can always go choose a different thought, or you can just step back from thought entirely, which is what normal or what typical meditation practices are about. They're not necessarily about getting rid of thought, they're about detaching from thought. Thought is not the problem, it's your making meaning of thought, or how you make meaning of thought, that becomes a problem. When it comes to settling confusion and settling this frustration and or overcoming the stuckness and trying to make a decision, once again, Steve Andreas has come up with a brilliant and very simple technique to deal with this. Imagine you're putting velcro on these thoughts, and you stick them to the screen of your mind. And when you stick them to the screen of your mind, hear that sound that velcro makes when it's being attached, when two pieces of velcro are coming together, and stick that thought to the screen of your mind. This may take sticking a few thoughts to the screen of your mind. If you're not a very visual person and your thoughts seem to be coming more as voices and sounds or words, just take a moment, hear the sound, hear the word, hear the voice, and then convert it into a visual. What would that sound look like? And once you have that, then this makes it much easier to velcro your thoughts to the screen of your mind. Again, it's very important that you hear that sound, that velcro coming together. That makes it seem real. Once you have your thoughts sticking like that, they're much easier to look at, much easier to make a decision from, and they're not going all over the place and sliding and zooming in and out, and you can get a good look at them and even kind of step back from them and see them for what they are. Want to know more techniques like this? Join us for the NLP Gym's Ultimate NLP Practitioner Training starting in January 2017. This will be the longest, biggest, most comprehensive NLP practitioner training, and perhaps the most affordable, especially when you think about the teachers we'll be having. Judith Delosier, Dr. Sid Jacobson, and Mark Andreas, and of course myself. We'll all be teaching this practitioner training. It will be something you do not want to miss. Sign up now. Spots are limited. Check out our website, nlp-gym.com. There you can sign up for the Ultimate Practitioner Training. Follow us on Facebook for real-time updates on upcoming workshops, as well as free practice sessions that I hold here in Santa Cruz. If you like this video, please click like right down here and leave a comment or a question. I will follow up with you. Stay tuned to the end of this video so you can see how you can get your hands on a free NLP online training. Take care. Can't seem to get control